Go. Why is it funny? I thought I was funny. I'm having fun. All right, let's kick this thing off. We got a kid to pick up at school.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to thank you for coming out this afternoon. On Saturday night, we have the biggest and baddest boxing card in this entire sport. It will be a great event. In the main event, we have four-time world champion Adrien Broner. He'll be taking on former world champion Jessie Vargas in the main event. In the co-main event, we have former world champion Jamal Charlo. He'll be taking on Hugo Centeno in a great fight. In the opening on Showtime, we have former world champion Gervonta Davis. He'll be taking on Jesus Cuellar in a very entertaining fight. Again, this is what boxing is all about. Big time boxing here in Brooklyn. At this time, I'd like to call up someone who has had an instrumental part in bringing big time boxing back to Brooklyn, the home of New York, where Barclays has brought the biggest and best cards. So without further ado, I would like to bring up my dear friend, Brett Yormack.
Hello everyone, excited about Saturday night's fight. As Leonard said, it's packed from top to bottom, and it should be a great night of Brooklyn boxing here in the borough of Brooklyn. As you know, it's a great triple header. And I think in many respects, this triple header defines Brooklyn boxing in so many different ways. Evenly matched fights, 50-50 fights, the biggest stars in the sport, and some of those are established fighters, and then others are on the rise. So you have a little bit of everything this weekend, which really makes it compelling. Adrien, welcome back. I'm not sure if you can hear me with the headphones, but welcome back nonetheless. Glad to have you here. Jessie, we're thrilled to welcome you to the borough for the first time, so welcome to Brooklyn. Jamal, I've said to you many a times, this is your home away from home, so welcome back. And I think we all remember that incredible knockout of Heelan this past July, so we look forward to seeing great action this weekend. Gervonta, great to have you back here too. It's been too long, and you are my son's favorite fighter, so he'll be with me ringside this weekend, so glad to have you here. Hugo and Jesus, pleased to welcome you both back to Barclays Center, and good luck this weekend. And lastly, but certainly not least, you'll see here in a few minutes, but we are thrilled to have Heather Hardy back on this card on Saturday night after a few fights in MMA. But she's a boxer, and we're just thrilled to have her here with us this weekend. Before I leave, a big thank you to Leonard Ellerby and Mayweather Promotions, obviously Lou DeBell and all the work he has done to help establish Brooklyn boxing. The PBC, a great partner of ours here in Brooklyn, and obviously Stephen Espinoza and Showtime. They are doing just incredible things for the sport. They continue to elevate, the boxing game. And Stephen, thank you for all you do and for all Showtime does for all of us. So looking forward to seeing all of you Saturday night. Tickets are moving. I mean, this could be one of the biggest fights we've ever had at Barclays Center. I'm just really thrilled. And hopefully I'll see all of you this weekend. Thank you again.
Thank you, Brett. And when it comes to breaking records, this next gentleman I'm about to bring up to the podium, he's done nothing but that, and he's been a market leader. When it comes to Showtime, they have put on the biggest and best fights, and as you've seen, what the rollout plan was for the first half of the year, and it's going to even get even better the second half of the year. And so without further ado, I would like to bring up the president of Showtime Sports and event programming, none other than the man himself, Stephen Espinoza.
Thank you, Leonard. As you mentioned, Showtime Boxing is in the midst of an unprecedented run. And it's been good fight, great fight, meaningful fight after meaningful fight. But sometimes we sort of lose sight of things and get caught up. So let's step back for a minute and talk about what we're doing here. You know, back in January, we made an unprecedented announcement. 11 events, 14 championship fights, several unification fights. That's just the first half of the year. That's more than a lot of networks do all year. So far, we've delivered main events with Errol Spence and Danny Garcia, and Deontay Wilder, David Benavidez, and Anthony Joshua, and Jared Hurd. 23 total fights so far this year. Most other networks, I'm not sure there's another network that's done that many fights so far this year. In fact, we've done 7 championship events in the last 10 weeks. Again, that's more than most have done all year. Like Showtime, Barclays Center has become home to the biggest and most meaningful fights. Badu, Jack, James DeGale, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Deontay Wilder, Luis Ortiz. Barclays is the destination for the best fights in the sport. But this isn't happening by accident. It's not luck. This just doesn't happen by accident. This is an intentional strategy. It's a plan, coordinated, to market the sport, to promote the sport, to elevate the sport and its fighters to heights we haven't seen before. And so with Barclays Center, we at Showtime, with Mayweather Promotions, TGB, DeBella, and all of our partners, have put real money, real effort into elevating this sport, organizing this sport. You think fighters show up at fights and do on-air interviews just by accident? No, it takes an effort from the fighters. They're flying out to our fights to promote future events. That's become the norm because that's how we are organizing and driving this sport to go higher and higher. And we're not done yet. Saturday's stacked card has 3 must-see matchups and a 4th fight, which is streaming. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that before we get underway here at Barclays Center, 5:15 Eastern, 2:15, we have a great matchup coming in from the UK. That's Carl Frampton, Nonito Donaire. That's streaming live on Showtime social platforms. Then we get to the Showtime card, televised on Showtime. Keep in mind, these are star fighters versus star fighters, headliners versus headliners. There's no names in this. All 6 of the TV featured fighters have headlined fights, all 6. This is top to bottom. The 4 fights that we're delivering through Showtime platforms on Saturday are as good as any 4 fights I can remember, pay-per-views included. This is a Saturday not to be missed. We'll see you then.
Thank you.
Our event is presented by PBC and promoted by Mayweather Promotions, TGB Promotions, and DeBella Entertainment. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up my dear friend, a guy who's one of the best promoters in the entire sport, a guy who runs a first-class organization, and I'm always excited to work with him and his team. So without further ado, none other than Lou DeBella.
Always great to work with Leonard and Mayweather Promotions and Tom Brown and his company. We've done a number of events together, and they always work smoothly. It's great to work in a spirit of cooperation. This is a great fight card. That's why it's selling tickets. And there are a lot of guys on this dais that are up-and-coming stars and that have big followings. And that's why this card is selling tickets. And it was put together to be great televised boxing. And that's why we're going to have a full room, and that's why there's going to be a big audience on Showtime. And, props to this building, the Barclays Center. It really is the home of big-time boxing. This is the best non-casino site right now in my mind in the world for boxing. It's the one with the most dedication to a regular boxing program, and you see that month after month with the great stuff that's coming into this building. Steve Espinoza and Showtime, yet another great card in the collaboration between PBC and Showtime. This card's stacked from top to bottom, and there's a lot of top to bottom because there's like 14 fights on this card. But the off-TV undercard is sensational. It has a load of undefeated talent. Former world champion and multi-time Olympian, a great fighter in Rashid Warren, heads up the undercard. Heather Hardy makes a return from 2 consecutive Bellator matches to come back into the boxing ring on the show against a very talented 12-2 woman, so that's a real fight that Heather's in. Marcos Madonna's brother Fabian Madonna, 14-0 on the card. Gary Russell Jr.'s brother Gary Russell on the card. Undefeated Richardson Hitchens from Brooklyn, George Arias from the Bronx, Cordell Booker from Connecticut. It's a loaded card from top to bottom, and that's what we look forward to every time we do a show here, offering you fans the best that we can in boxing from top to bottom. These televised fights are sensational matchups. The first bout of the night, Gervonta Davis, one of the rising young stars in the sport, a young kid going for his second world title, fighting Jesus Cuellar, a former champion and accomplished guy, a guy whose last fight was at featherweight and was I think he lost a majority decision in a terrific fight. So now he's, Gervonta's got his hands full, but, hey, one thing that blew my mind too, you get people to represent from Maryland, man, because there's going to be a lot of people in this building coming in from Maryland. We've sold an awful lot of tickets to Gervonta's fans. He's got a deep fan base, a loyal fan base at home, and they're going to be representing for him this weekend. The co-featured bout of the evening, there's a lot of action in the middleweight division right now, a lot of controversy in the middleweight division right now, a lot of guys fighting for their opportunity to prove that they're the best in the middleweight division. And Jamal Charlo might be the hardest puncher in the middleweight division. He and his brother are a brand. There are no 2 twin brothers. You got to go to the NBA's got a pair of twins, but there are twins in boxing. He might be the greatest and most accomplished combination of twin brothers in the history of boxing. The fact that I can't name many others has something to do with that, but objectively, they probably are the most accomplished twins in the history of the sport. He's got his hands full because Hugo Centeno Jr. is also a young, terrific fighter, a guy that has power, great boxing ability, has the kind of star potential if he can overcome this obstacle and pull off an upset and beat Jamal Charlo. He's a star, and he's here to win. And I've seen him fight many times, and every time you get the best out of Hugo Centeno. His only loss, he got caught, and that happens to just about anyone. And the main event, we got this man here who's rocking with his headphones on, who objectively is a crazy MFer, but a terrifically skilled boxer, a guy that, despite his ups and downs, has the star power. Social media gets social media attention, gets fans' attention. You don't have to be loved by everybody. You have to have people who care about you and want to see you. And a lot of people want to see this guy because they like him. And a lot of people want to see this guy because they want to see him get his head knocked off. But the bottom line is, a lot of people want to see Adrien Broner. Well, they're going to see him on Saturday night, but Adrien's got his hands full too. Because there's a young man coming at him who's already a 2-time world champion, who's also undefeated. Actually, he's not undefeated, but he's on a run of wins. Has had a terrific career. Adrien's coming up to the welterweight division in this fight. Arguably, Jessie is the bigger guy, might be the stronger guy. That's what he thinks, and that's what he's going to try to prove on Saturday night. It's great to have star power, which AB unquestionably has. But if you want to stay on the top, you got to win. And he knows on Saturday night he got to win. He's grinning and grooving there, but he knows that everything's on the line on Saturday night. So this is a terrific fight card. We're now going to turn it over to my good friend Brian Custer to do a Q&A with the fighters. One thing I just want to say before I turn it over to Brian, prostate cancer has become a real cause for Brian Custer. He's an advocate for testing and for people being aware that you got to get out there. If you're a guy, particularly a guy 40 years old or over, don't mess around. Get tested. My brother-in-law has been going through the same kind of stuff that Brian has. They're both winning the battle, but you know, people need to be aware. Men get checked for prostate cancer. It's a real serious business, a serious thing that you got to deal with. And most men have issues in their lives with prostates. Pay attention to it. Brian,
Lou, thank you very much. Good afternoon. As Lou and Leonard has talked about Saturday night, it's going to be an exciting night here at Barclays Center. 3 fights, 3 very important fights, a triple header on Showtime Championship Boxing kicking off at 9 p.m. Eastern, that is 6 o'clock Pacific time. It is going to be one heck of an event. On the undercard, you have Heather the Heat Hardy, who has become really on the national scene. Boxing has always been her bread and butter. She's now stepped into the MMA world as well. But she will be fighting. She's unbeaten. And the first question will be to you, Heather, is what does it feel like to be back in the boxing ring, back in Brooklyn, and back at the Barclays Center? Grab the mic.
There's really nothing like fighting at home. As exciting as it was to be in the cage and to travel, to be on TV and all that fun stuff. I mean, this is like being in my backyard. I'm only 5 blocks from my house. It's my dream to box at the Barclays Center, so nothing in the world is like being here in front of my people.
Don't forget, Heather Hardy will be on the undercard of this very important event. So we get to what happens on the television side at 9 o'clock, and we open with a world championship fight. 2 former world champions will step into the ring, and the winner will walk out as the WBA champion at 130 pounds. Gervonta Tank Davis taking on Jesus Cuellar. And Jesus, this is a fight, and I would assume a fight where you're going to see if Gervonta can handle constant pressure from a heavy-handed puncher.
Jesús, esta va a ser una gran pelea para ti, un gran reto. ¿Qué piensas tú de tu enfrentamiento con Davis y su pegada? ¿Qué piensas acerca de él?
Bueno, primero buenas tardes. Quiero agradecer a toda la gente que está aquí. Yo vine a hacer un buen trabajo, tengo un buen campamento hecho. Es un gran rival, lo respeto por su trayectoria, pero arriba del ring vamos a ser solo 2 el sábado.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for being here. He understands that Davis is a great opponent, but inside the ring it'll only be him and I, and expect to see a great fight.
Gervonta, you know, Jesus has got power, but many say he can be wide at times with his shots. Do you think that will be his downfall in this fight?
First, I want to thank God for this opportunity. And I want to thank the media, Showtime, my promoter. Big shout out to my management, Al Heyman. Saturday night, we could just expect an action-packed fight. We know Kalal will come to fight. I'm definitely coming to fight, and I'm ready to pick up where I left off, and that's be a champion again.
Jesus, what do you say to those who say that your aggressive style is really perfect for the way Gervonta Davis fights? And because you are a come-forward type fighter, that really plays into his hands.
Jesús, ¿qué piensas de la gente que opina que tú eres un peleador que es agresivo y que viene hacia enfrente? Dadas las características de tu estilo, ¿qué piensas tú acerca de la pelea con Davis?
Como dije recién, va a ser una buena pelea y voy a demostrar todo lo que hice en el campamento y voy a tratar de hacer todo lo posible para demostrar a toda la gente que puedo boxear y puedo hacer todas las cosas arriba del ring. Voy a ganar esa pelea.
As Davis said, this is going to be an action-packed fight. And expect to see a great fight, and expect to see me on top at the end of the night.
Obviously, he's confident. Tank, your promoter, Floyd Mayweather, said once that you were going to be the next biggest star in boxing, next pay-per-view star. Now, you've had some issues, you got some criticism in the way you fought in the last time out, but is this the fight where you show folks Tank Davis is back, especially being back here at Barclays Center where you won your first world title?
I believe this fight gonna show, put me back on the map. You know, one of the youngest rising star in boxing. I believe I had the skills. You know, I'm looking forward to Saturday night. You know, I've been training very hard with Adrien. You know, in camp, we've been pushing each other, and I'm just looking forward. I want to be able to grade myself this Saturday. You know, I want to be able to look back on the fight and say, this was one of my sharpest, you know, fight up to date. And I met with a great opponent, you know, to show that I have the skills and the ability to take over the sport of boxing.
Do you see this fight going the distance?
No, sir.
Jesus, he doesn't see it going the distance. What do you expect Saturday night?
Jesús, al parecer, él no ve que la pelea vaya a la distancia. ¿Tú cómo ves o qué opinas de eso?
Yo estoy preparado para pelear los 12 rounds y que pelear, y si no, pelearé los rounds que hay que pelear, pero estaré ahí para pelear. Eso que me preparé, pues si no, no hubiese venido acá.
I'm ready to go 12 rounds if necessary, but if not, you know, the knockout comes early and that comes early. We're here to win. That's it.
World title fight will open the night on Showtime Championship Boxing, and then we get to the co-main. And the Charlo twins have become some of the most powerful and exciting boxers in the sport. You have Jermell, who's a world champion at 154 pounds, and Jamal, back here in Brooklyn, now at 160, taking on Hugo Centeno Jr. And this is an important fight because the winner becomes a mandatory and next in line for a world title fight. And Jamal, let me start with you, because you've said publicly, Saturday night you're looking to send a message to the 160-pound division against Centeno. So what is that message?
First off, I want to thank God for the opportunity. I want to thank my trainer, Ronnie Shields. I want to thank Lou DeBella, Brett, everybody at the Barclays Center, everybody in Brooklyn that show love to me and my twin brother both. You know, I'm looking to make a statement Saturday night. I've been training very hard ever since that last fight when I did fight here in Brooklyn. So I'm going to let the mechanics come together and take care of business.
And what is that statement, though?
You'll see Saturday night. Saturday night, I promised my fans something that they would be able to stick with forever.
Hugo, he's talked about making a statement. He's also talked about, listen, that he wants to be a world champion. He wants big fights at 160. Hasn't been a lot of talk about you. Do you believe Jamal Charlo's overlooking you?
First and foremost, I want to thank God for this big opportunity. Showtime, all the promotion. Thank you guys. Definitely, man. I feel like I'm being overlooked. You know, I haven't been able to make myself a household name by being on these big platforms, but come April 21st, I'm going to show the world who Hugo Centeno is.
You know, this fight had to be postponed because you suffered a rib injury during training, but you said that rib injury was basically a blessing in disguise. Why is that?
You know, at first I took it a little tough. I was looking forward to the fight. All the training had been done. We were very close to the end. Resuming training camp, I started in phenomenal condition, and it just took me to another level. So I'm in the best condition I've ever been in my life right now.
Maul, he believes you're overlooking him. Are you?
I'm not overlooking anybody in my division. Once you step in front of me, it's a fight. And I put my life on the line for it. So don't think that I'm overlooking them. I'm actually looking forward to bigger things in boxing and in my weight division. So therefore, you know, I'm glad the fight got postponed, because you can't freeze the kicker when the kicker been kicking. So, you know, you'll see Saturday that I promise the fans that they'll get a chance to go home with something special from me.
Hugo, you know, obviously he wants to make a statement. He wants to make a splash here Saturday. You said you believe, though, that this fight's going to be played out more like a chess match. You said in the ring, despite the fact that, you know, Jamal's made a statement that he wants to look very good. Tell us why. Why do you think it'll be more like a chess match?
You know, I honestly expect him to come out strong. You know, something we've planned for. We know he's looking for a knockout, but you know, if the opportunity doesn't show itself for him, I believe it'll come down to a chess match to see who's the smarter fighter.
Jamal, what should we expect Saturday night?
Saturday night, just expect fireworks. We're gonna turn Brooklyn up. Like he said, yeah, I'm coming out to shut them down and really make a statement out here. So whatever me and my trainer work on, however I feel in the beginning, however I feel in the end, you know, however the match goes, we're gonna make it rock.
Then we come to the main event. Once again, two former world champions, former 4-division world champion, and Adrien "the Problem" Broner, and then another former world champion in Jessie Vargas. Both trying to make a mark in the welterweight division. And Jessie, we'll start with you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming out. And I actually have a long list of things. I want to thank God, of course, always in my sleep. And I'm always thankful for every opportunity. I'm thankful for everyone who made this possible, from Mayweather Promotions to Lou DiBella, TGB Promotions, my fans, the media, my father, my team. Mike McCullum has done an amazing job in this training camp. Everything has come along fantastic. I can't wait. I can't wait. Yeah, look at me. I can't wait. We got a couple days to wait, and I can't wait. This isn't a game. You know, but then again, I'm not here to disrespect anyone. I am here to fight. I am here to win. All right, and I plan to do that. I hope that everybody will be in attendance April 21st. The thousands that will be at the Barclays Center. The millions watching around the world. This is action. All right? Tune in. Watch this fight.
Jess, thank you. Adrien, any opening remarks? Grab the mic, please. So those are your opening remarks. Jessie, you were quoted as saying that you believe Adrien Broner is beatable. You told our Jim Gray, listen, Saturday night, I'm basically going to get into the ring and beat him up. What have you seen that you believe makes Adrien Broner vulnerable?
Well, I've seen a few mistakes that he's made. I see that he's beatable, but at the end of the day, I have to come down, perform myself, and you know, come out with the victory. Find a way to come out with the victory. I'm very versatile, and you know, we're gonna switch up styles when we have to, when we need to. But overall, to entertain the fans, he's a talented fighter. I'm a talented fighter. There's a reason why we are two former world champions, but at the end of the day, there could only be one winner, and I plan to be that winner. And if you give me the chance, I would like to translate in Spanish.
Sure.
Muchas gracias a todos por venir. Les agradezco todo su apoyo, a mi equipo, a Dios por la oportunidad, a Mayweather Promotions, TGB Promotions, Lou DiBella, a todos que hicieron esto posible, a Heyman o a Lupe Valencia. Estoy muy agradecido por la oportunidad. Yo vengo muy bien entrenado, muy bien preparado. Mi equipo hizo un gran trabajo. Tuvimos un campamento de 7 semanas y todo nos salió cerca de la perfección. Gracias a Dios, y esperemos que toda nuestra afición de Nueva York pueda salir a la pelea en el Barclays Center para gozar de una buena noche de box. Van a haber 3 peleas espectaculares y la mía va a ser especial. Entonces vengan, los veo muy pronto, los veo en menos de 2 días. Va a estar muy bueno, una bonita noche.
You've heard Jesse. He says he thinks you're beatable, you're vulnerable. What's your response?
This is a fake ass press conference. This shit garbage. And I'm just ready to fight. I ain't worried about Jessie. And if you like, can I say that in Spanish? Soy Adrien. ¿Cómo te llamas? Jessie Vargas. Punto. Sí.
In the big picture of your career, Adrien, how important is this fight going forward?
Honestly, this is a very important fight for my career on a serious level. And, you know, I know he trained hard because this is a chance to, you know, it's like a parlay, you know? This is the last win, and it can take me, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I know he trained hard, I ain't worried about that, you know, I'm ready, man. I'm ready to fight. We can fight right now. With the little people I got here, I know we gonna win. We are.
Jessie, I was reading something and you said that you believe that Adrien's had problems when he stepped up to welterweight.
He did too. He ain't win his fights when he stepped up.
You've been fighting at welterweight for a while. Do you believe because you're a full-fledged welterweight, that's an advantage for you in this fight?
Definitely. I do feel that I have an advantage. I am the taller fighter. I am the stronger fighter. The more experienced fighter. And not only that, but the full-grown welterweight. I feel very comfortable leading into this fight. Ready for victory.
What's your response to that?
I don't want to hear none of that shit. When you stepped up and you fought Timothy Bradley, you lost. When you stepped up and you fought Pacquiao, you lost. So shut that shit up, bitch ass nigga. So what I'm saying is this. I'm a 4-time world champion. I've been world champion in 47 before. So I don't want to hear nothing. Quit talking about all the losses. You ain't them. You got to beat me first. No homo. Come on, man. Get up out of here, man.
What will a win Saturday night against a quality fighter like Jessie do for you in your career going forward?
I hope y'all give me credit. I hope y'all don't just throw it on the rug, because I'm going to beat his ass. I hope y'all just give me the credit that I deserve. That's all I want. And I know all y'all against me. Him right here, Leonard will be against me. They with this bitch ass nigga. Leonard a bitch ass nigga too.
You don't disrespect me like that.
Man, shut up. You ain't with me. You ain't with me. You with Jessie.
I'm with Mayweather Promotions.
You with, yeah, you ain't with me. I'm a real one.
And this isn't about me. You guys got to fight.
Yeah,
Saturday night.
Shut that soft ass shit up.
And the best man.
Shut that that's some soft ass shit. Shut that soft ass shit up. All that soft talking. I know you can do it, man. You got the. Man, shut that soft ass shit up, man.
So,
you ain't with me.
How about this? If you're victorious Saturday night,
I'm gonna be victorious.
What's the future?
I know they all against me. This is what they want. They want AB. They want AB to go out. They don't want me to be in nice cars. They don't want me to be in Rolexes. They don't want me to be in APs. They don't want me to be in private jets. They want me to lose this fight, go up under the rug, and never be talked about again. They don't want me to see the top of my pinnacle. But guess what, man? I train my ass off. I'm not losing to no Jessie Vargas, man. Y'all got me fucked up.
With a victory Saturday, when do you see Adrien Broner as a world champion again, or do you just want to be in big-time fights?
4-time world champion, soon to be 5-time world champion. Like I said, 2018, I'm taking over, man. And it start with Jessie Vargas. Like I said, Leonard, you ain't with me.
Jessie, we'll wrap it up with this. What happens Saturday
billions,
night?
man. I'm about billions.
Saturday night, you're going to see a great show. We're going to have 3 great fights.
None of y'all with me in here. Only my team.
What you mentioned, you know, and we're going to top it off with the main event. It's going to be all fireworks, as Charlo just said. And, you know, come and be entertained, enjoy a good night of boxing, and I will be victorious. Come out, y'all.
In the new Mecca of boxing, Barclays Center here in Brooklyn, 9 p.m. Eastern on Showtime, Championship Boxing. We will now face off the fighters.
All right.